The Halo TV show is finally over, and sadly, it's coming back for season 2. A season 2 that was announced way before the season 1 first episode, mind you. A season 2 that would have been made regardless of public opinion. This show proves that the people handling it do not care about Halo. They put little sprinkles of Halo so people like us, you and me, that are fans of Halo, will be like, oh, okay, I mean, they did some Halo stuff. Yeah, that's cool. But no, that's not what we got. We got something worse. We got something just borderline stupid with a dash of Halo. With like maybe 30 minutes worth of Halo. I don't even know where to start with criticizing the show. I'll start with the good parts. I feel, for me, the bad parts outweigh the good, but you know, it's not fair for me to say that if there were parts that I didn't enjoy the most. The parts I enjoyed the most was the fight scenes where we saw humans versus Covenant. I thought that was interesting. CGI was a little rough on the edges. It didn't feel polished enough, for especially the budget was $10 million per episode. I do like the actors playing the Spartans. I think they did a good job on picking them. Whether or not you agree with Master Chief is a different discussion. I do like Cortana and Halsey. When Cortana was first revealed, I didn't like her as much, but now I kind of do. But it kind of grew on me. It was nice. Everyone else didn't matter, if I'm being honest. Like Captain Keyes and Miranda Keyes, and I don't even know the Indian woman's name because her name was like not said so many times. We're all just side characters that I just don't care about. Gosh. Besides that, I don't like this show, and it saddens me that they made a season 2 before season 1 even started, which tells me that they didn't care about the reaction towards season 1. They were going to do it either way, and that's evidence from the fact that the producers of the show did not play the games. They just looked through. They basically said themselves, they looked through a Spark Notes version of each story, of the storyline, and said, hey, we can do this. We can make a show out of this. And that's what this show is. It's a sprinkle of Halo with whatever bad fan fiction they decide to write in. It's not even just the writing. It's just there's some parts that does not make sense to do. For example, the story that doesn't make sense is the Quan Han story. I don't understand why she was added if they're not going to complete her story in season 1. Now, I am going to be fair and say, okay, her story, the questions I'm asking about her might be answered in season 2, which is fair. However, the issue that I'm seeing is she wasn't needed in season 1, and that's proof. Like, the episode 1 and episode 2, we get a change in Master Chief's character, right? Quan Han wasn't that change in character. It was the freaking MacGuffin Forerunner devices that changed Master Chief. And Quan Han just had an entire episode dedicated to her. And I'm pretty sure that's the worst rated episode, so it's funny to think about. But yeah, I mean, no hate towards the actors at all. It's just the characters that I don't like. It's stupid. And Quan Han is a stupid character that proved that she was not needed in any episode in this season. Maybe in season 2. And, you know, honestly, with Quan Han's story, there's also Soren, who is absolutely, completely useless as a character. He's a cool character, but they did nothing with him. Absolutely nothing with him. It's... oh my god. That wasn't also the issue as well. there's a lot of things that just doesn't make sense throughout the entire show. So episode 9, the last episode, Master Chief and Kai were fighting Vanek and Kai, right? Vanek and Riz, my bad. And at the beginning of episode 9, the last episode, I guess they forgot about all the emotional stuff. So Master Chief's character develops into what he is throughout the show by taking out the inhibitor chip. And the inhibitor chip allows Master Chief to be more emotional, I guess. And the same thing happened to Kai, which, again, no problem with that. I mean, I personally think it's stupid just to have an inhibitor chip versus in the games, the Spartans in the story, and the games in the book, the Spartans were basically emotional people, but they were also professional as well. But in this TV show, they have these inhibitor chips implanted in them that prevents emotion, right? And then episode 9, Master Chief and Kai managed to change Vanek's and Rick's character. Like, they gave him a change of heart. And throughout the entire episode, it showed Vanek and Riz be emotional, especially Vanek. And I feel like that's the plot hole. I feel like they forgot that they're not. I don't know. I don't know. Someone probably explain better than me. Someone probably can explain why they forgot about the inhibitor chip. But to me, if the inhibitor chip is what caused the Spartans to be not emotional, but Vanek shows emotion, you see what I'm saying? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, seriously, it's so stupid. And towards the end, like the final 20 moments, you finally get some resemblance of Halo. And I gotta say, it's probably the reason why this was the better episode. But that, again, it's not saying much. But yeah, the final 20 minutes, you get a final fight scene between the Covenant and Silver Team, I believe. And although the fight scenes are cool, if you rewatch them and think about them, there's a lot of stupid moments in the scene. For example, there's a moment in the show, in the final 20 minutes, where the Spartan team is being overrun by elites. And there's hundreds and hundreds of elites. Now, the problem here is elites are not cannon fodder. They're literally the smartest of the Covenant. Every elite are noble and honorable in their fighting style. They also wouldn't rush at the same time. They would it's I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm being nitpicky here, but elites wouldn't do that. I mean, to be fair, I will be fair. In Halo Wars, the elites did the exact same thing by rushing Red Team. So I'll give them that. Another plot issue that I have that just like straight up doesn't make sense is that while Silver Team was close to the artifact, the prophets were hovering above the artifact, and for some weird reason, the Spartans, none of them decided to say, hey, we should shoot those guys that have no protection and are just hanging up there. Like, I don't get it. What? The prophet, they've been fighting. I have nothing to say. I legit have nothing to say. And the last issue I have with the final 20 minutes that just doesn't make sense to me at all. So in the final fight, Silver Team is down. Vanek gets injured. Not Vanek. Riz gets injured with a plasma grenade. And that part was actually pretty cool. They actually show like her gut being like torn out and everything. But Silver Team's down. Master Chief makes a plan that Cortana to take over his body and his mind, and to save both Silver Team and the artifact. This is where it kind of gets stupid. So Master Chief forces Cortana to take over his body because Cortana promised to never do that. So he basically self-injures himself and gets blasted. Not blasted, but he gets hit by a gravity hammer by Brute. And he's knocked out. And then in the scene, he gets knocked out and Cortana takes over his body. And so this is basically where I guess they're referencing like the video games, I guess, where a silent character, and Cortana for some weird reason does not talk at all, but she doesn't talk and she kills a lot of the Covenant, right? And then out of nowhere, she somehow managed to autopilot the Pelican or the Condor to where the location of Silver Team is, and shoots the Covenant with the machine guns, with the miniguns on the Condor. And I'm asking to myself throughout the entire scene, couldn't she just have done this without taking over Master Chief's body? No, if you seriously think about it, she could have done the whole Pelican scene before it got bad. Like, these are the worst type of Spartans. These Spartans aren't, it's like they don't have situational awareness. The area I don't get it. I don't get it. It's so stupid. And then Kai is asking Master Chief. She says John for some weird reason. I guess they're friends now. But or whatever. And Cortana is taking over Master Chief's body. So Cortana doesn't say a word to her. And the show basically ends with Cortana in Master Chief's body, and she is quiet and doesn't talk apparently. And I guess they're setting up for how the lore of the show, I guess within the lore of the show, they're setting up why Master Chief is a silent character, like in the ones in the games, which is my only reason why she's not talking. This show was ass. Like, I give it a 5 out of 10, maybe a 6, because what carried the show was the characters like Vanek and the CGI fight scenes. I guess the CGI wasn't that good, but the fight scenes just carried it for me. I hope season 2 is better. Yeah, but I doubt it. All right, that's it.